Hey guys, and welcome to the Zone Weekly. This is the week of February 3rd, 2023. And in last week's Zone Weekly, the very first episode, you probably recall we went over some baseline figures, lifetime figures that determine kind of like the baseline of where we were at that time. And now moving forward, we can give some weekly figures and some updates as well. So one of the very first updates I want to discuss is people have been wondering when the HFT audit is going to be out. The HFT audit's finished. Could release it right now. However, we are waiting for one more piece of news to release it alongside the audit at the same time. So that should be very, very soon. So appreciate your patience on that. We get a lot of questions about different projects, XETA Black and things like that. Nothing that I'm willing to share details on yet. We'll be having an AMA today, February 3rd. At 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I would encourage you to come there with specific questions as well. And we have some more information coming up on updates with different projects that are being worked on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. I think you guys are going to be very excited about those, but I can't release details just yet. As far as the data is concerned, we had 580 new zones this week, which is just under a 4% growth. It's nice and steady. It's, kind of like when you're running a race, if you burst out of the gates too fast, too soon, you burn out very quickly. So this is a nice sustainable rate. We have a 75.8% HFT performance to date. Again, these are the HFT, the high frequency trading performance for zone holders, not for the XETA Capital Fund. I want to make that distinction, which is a 7% performance from last week. Okay, so a 7% performance from last week. We have roughly 7,791 tokens that have been deposited into the lake. And people have just started seeing the lake performance update. As of today, the lake did fill at the very last. Actually, it's about, I think, 8 or 9 hours before the lake actually closed, before Monday. It actually filled up the full $500,000 buyback as well. We have an interesting number this week, which is the circulating supply. The circulating supply has been reduced by 11% in a single week, from 6,626 to 5,865. Now, if you don't know what that means that there is a circulating supply that is out on the blockchain of XETA tokens. And that supply is minted, I shouldn't say minted, but created generally through rewards from zones and things like that. That supply has been reduced because pools exist, lakes exist, up until Monday, early Monday, of course. But in other words, utility that actually does something with the tokens rather than giving you only one option, which is most projects, which is to just simply sell. So that circulating supply has been reduced 11% just in a single week, which is pretty outstanding. We have a total value locked of $9.5 million. That is a $500,000 increase, or just under 6% from just last week, right? And those the TVL that we're discussing here is something you can also find on Dune Analytics. I always like to promote what Ray has done over there. He's got a great platform. We give him a channel inside our Discord. So if you are not in our Discord, highly encourage you to check out our Discord. And Ray gives updates inside of a specific channel, but you can check out his Dune Analytics in there as well. He does a great job. It's not a XETA Capital official one, but that's okay because he does a wonderful job outside of XETA Capital. So please check that out, and I will give him a plug for that as well. And we have weekly OTC volume of $200,000. That is a 31% increase since last week. So the OTC is starting to slowly creep up and be the majority of the trading to surpass the DEX in volume. It's not always passing the DEX. Actually, some days it is passing the DEX in volume. I think people are seeing the value in OTC. And I think people are starting to see the value in being able to swap tokens with another individual, a peer-to-peer system where you have a smart contract that just facilitates that transfer, right? And a lot of people who previously would, want to sell a lot of tokens, you would have to claim them, from your zones and then slowly dollar cost average out because you may not want to harm the price. Now you have an option not to have to do that. You have an option to literally claim all your tokens and list them all for sale on the OTC, and it never impacts the open market price. So it reduces the volatility as well. Just to remind you, with OTC, there's a few things to keep in mind. One of those is you can buy fractional amounts. I've seen some people ask questions. Well, they see a listing for 100 tokens. They don't need 100 tokens. That's okay. You can buy 0.00001 of any listing if you want. You don't have to buy what is actually listed. If somebody's listing 10 tokens, you can buy one of that listing. You literally click it, type in how many you want, and you can buy it. So you can buy fractional amounts. I just want to make that clarification. Obviously, if you're looking for one or two tokens, maybe just clear out the ones that show one or two in the listings. But I will say we also have an update coming soon with the OTC that's going to make it so that older listings have to be purchased first. The OTC is actually getting cleared out pretty regularly. The listings are being bought up, but it is a update, as all other updates, that just improves the efficiency. We're always taking the feedback you guys are giving, as well as some feedback we, the team, have, and passing it off to the Thorify team. So a big shout out to Thorify for always being open to improve on that OTC system as well. We do have some just real quick Twitter highlights. We've got another 111 followers in January. We don't try to go out there and really push the Twitter channel to be grown, right? But it's just kind of interesting little data we have. Almost 80,000 impressions, 12% increase from December. We have a little over 3% increase in retweets, almost a 4% increase in likes per tweet, and almost a 2% increase in replies per tweet. Those are just some fun numbers that you're not going to see on your screen, but thought I would mention. This is the Zone Weekly. These are just quick updates. Hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, take care. God bless. Thanks a lot.